Yeah, no, I don't know.
What's your favorite song, Bobby? Let us know.
Please don't put me on the spot.
I have to go back and look at the set list.
Yeah, there you go. But anyhow, so traffic this morning. We said it's fine out here, but traffic is a neighborhood
once I got on
thing.
6, it was great.
Yeah, okay.
Just getting on 6, it's just, I live on William Joel Bryan Parkway.
Right.
So
There's been some work being done there.
I have to book a week in advance to get out of my driveway just to get out and to get home sometimes. And, people are, and I shouldn't say it because I can be very impatient as well.
Sure.
So I'm probably going to get rear-ended as I pull out of my driveway one day because I'm just not patient enough to sit and wait for the last car to come. But it was crazy. And of course, they had as you go further towards Villa Maria on Williams O'Brien, they had everybody stopped, and
Sure.
It was a mile worth of traffic long.
The thing is, there are so many cities in Texas where this is happening. I mean, it's just not here. We see it here and we care about it here. But these things are going on, the whole raised median situation.
Oh, it's horrible.
I don't know. And the thing I've been saying for years is there's no one who can really approach TxDOT. They're a governmental agency that are separate. They bring a lot of jobs, a lot of business, that sort of thing. But now there are certainly we have had businesses in our cities that are impacted, that are closing.
Mine is impacted. Mine is very much impacted. And I'm on a corner, so mine is not impacted as much as some are. But mine is very much impacted. We know the amount of business that we've lost on that. And when it first started, we had Coulter being, developed, redeveloped. It was supposed to be a 6 month to a year project. It took 2 years.
Yeah.
And, we were off about 35% with just the Coulter project. Then immediately go into the, median project right after that. And it closed. Texas Avenue and Texas and Coulter were both closed at the same time at one point. So ours was very much impacted. And even now, because the big trucks can't get in, we do a lot of farm and ranch stuff there. The big trucks and trailers can't get in, they can't get out. So it's impacted us. And
do you see the legislature taking some sort of an action to try to give all sorts of cities this kind of relief?
That's one of the things too, because I had some of them call me up, and everybody was the day I got elected. You remember that? I mean, the day I got elected, right after that, they start the university medians on University Drive, headed north on Texas Avenue. And so it was like it was all my fault. But even some of the people, it is state legislation that controls that, and some part to the federal too. There's a lot of federal money that comes in there. It's something that we're going to have to do. I mean, we're looking at that East Loop that's going around right there. That's probably 10, 20 years away. I mean, they're in the design process. Everybody's up in arms. But, I was in Austin on Monday. I thought I had the day off. I literally thought I had the day off. I was going to go work cattle. I have some cattle we got to put together. And I get a text message from Keene, at 6 a.m. Excuse me. It's like, I'll pick you up at 10. I'm like, question mark. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't have anything on my calendar. He goes, no, we have to be in Austin today. And, we drove, we had meetings all afternoon and got back that evening. But going through traffic in Austin, we're trying to get ahead of that here in Bryan College Station. Mm-hmm. We're trying to get ahead of it with the MPO's actually meeting this morning. I had a meeting with that yesterday, going through some of the stuff that's on the agenda with, our council member James Edge, who's on the MPO board, and, meeting with our engineers, the stuff that's happening. There's some really good stuff, and TxDOT does a phenomenal job at what they do, and everything that they do impacts somebody. And, and it's just like we make. We make decisions every single week, every 2 weeks when we have our meetings. Somebody's happy, somebody's upset. We're trying to do the best we can do, just as they are. They're trying to do the best they can do with the information that they have. But we've got to get ahead of the growth that we know is coming. I mean, we know it's coming. We saw what happened here, when they had the George Strait concert, when we had the soccer deal, when we have, just this last game last week, the people that are here for that, it's going to continue to happen like that. And then with all the new companies that are about to announce, I mean, we're literally weeks away from some big announcements, and when that happens, it's game changer for us, and we're already behind what we have just on Highway 6.
Sure. I think they're going to spend $110 million at George Bush and Welborn Road in College Station, and it's going to take years. It's going to take two football seasons probably for that to get done.
And everything takes so long to do. I mean, look at South College. I mean, that's truly on the city of Bryan. We're working on ways. I want that to be opened, at least half of it. When they did Williams O'Brien, I thought I really did think TxDOT did a phenomenal job on keeping that roadway open, whether it's one lane or at least we had people coming in and out. On South College, I don't think we as the city of Bryan did a good job. I think we should have had one way in, at least had from University Drive north to downtown Bryan, one lane should have been open headed north. And as you transition, you just keep that, whether it's on the east side of the road or the west side of the road, you keep that at least one deal open so you can get people to the businesses up and down into downtown Bryan, which is, part of our, major concern,
Right.
what we need to do for growth and for business.
And your Midtown project, of course, that's more than just townies. Those are people coming from out of town. And you
Exactly.
certainly don't want them to have a bad experience or memory if they come to your facility.
You're exactly right. And we have so much that's going on. Our Midtown project is doing better than we ever thought, we ever imagined it would do. The growth that we have around Legends and around all the stuff that's going on over there is just the impact that it's bringing to the community is phenomenal. I mean, but look at it, just like this last week, there was not a room anywhere. I can't wait to get the economic impact numbers. Now, the impact of the game was not what we wanted, but the impact for the cities of Bryan and College Station is absolutely what we wanted. And my hat's off to A&M, SEC, all the stuff that they've done when they put this thing together, when they brought A&M into the SEC. That was game changing for us. I mean, it's changed everything about who we are as a community, not only the university, but who we are as a community, and brought us into the limelight. And, just the fact that they're mentioning, Bryan College Station on all these news and all this stuff when they're doing, their broadcast is pretty phenomenal.
It is. Now, as far as because it's time to start talking 2025. I mean, the first 3 months of 2025 could be some things for Bryan that'll be really revolutionary.
Yeah, it's you know me, and I want to explode and spill the beans, but we can't. But the stuff that we're doing is the stuff that we have meetings on, pretty much on a weekly basis with A&M, with the system, with with the Board of Regents and everybody that's involved in that stuff is pretty phenomenal. I was with the governor yesterday and Chancellor Sharp yesterday, and just a little bit of time that we get to speak, and we get to, you have 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, but big things are happening, and it's like I tell our council, we're riding that tidal wave of a lot of people who were before us that set this foundation to make this stuff happen, and it's going to happen on our watch. I'm very blessed to have it out, on my watch here, and so is my council, but, we're the stewards of what's going to happen in the future. And with these jobs, I mean, we have potential. One company could potentially bring 5,000 jobs, and these are high-paying jobs. Another company is going to bring 1,200 jobs that are almost reaching 200,000 average income for 1,200 jobs. Think about what that salaries are and what that means to the city of Bryan and the city of College Station. So, the economic impact of what Texas A&M is doing, just that thought process of what those the Board of Regents and what the Chancellor is thinking about, and we're talking about decades and centuries ahead of us, and what they're doing to basically help the whole country and the world.
Well, and beyond that, while A&M might be the driver here, all of this portion of Texas, I mean, the city of Bryan has a responsibility now to be able to provide housing or to do what you can to rehab housing that already exists or create new housing, because that's got to be part of the puzzle if these people are going to come here.
Yeah, and I talked to some people last night. Actually, I had dinner last night with another group that just finished out on the data center. So that thing is going. I guess we're going to do a big groundbreaking on that pretty soon, even though it's already started, the production and already started. We haven't done the ribbon cutting of the groundbreaking on it. But one of the guys who was with that group, they do developments all over the country, and he was asking me, because they do kind of I don't want to say low income or anything like that, but they do workforce type housing. Mm-hmm. But how do you do that when the land prices are what they are now? So there's really it's supply and demand. And we've got to look beyond our borders. We've got to look beyond our county. We got to look at Grimes County. We got to look at Washington County, Burleson County, just Robertson County, all these different counties that are around us. To get from, let's just say Hearn, to get from Hearn to Bryan is not that hard. And whether you're coming on Farm Road 50 or whether you're coming on Highway 6, it's to get to Rellis, to get to that area, the west side of town, is pretty easy to get there. So we've got to look at other options where we're going to do it, because we can't, in the city of Bryan, can't bear the brunt of all of that.
So does the city of Bryan partner with Robertson County?
Well, I know we're working with the Greater Brazos Partnership on bringing them into the loop on some of this stuff. I have a hard time because we as a cities, Bryan and College Station, Texas A&M, and the county, we pay to be into that organization. So how do we bring somebody in who's not paying to be in it when we're the driver?
Does the COG do that? Is the Council of Governments, that's COG, Council of Governments, do they get involved in that?
And I'm on that board too as well. They do a lot of things there too. But they're more in the workforce. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it really is. I don't know how you solve this problem when you have so many people who are moving to Texas. So, we're getting these great things, but everybody in Texas is getting the great things. There's a mass migration that are people that are leaving different parts of the country to be in Texas because we're working and we're getting things done over here. So it's, it's a great time to be in Texas. It's a great time to be in Bryan College Station. It's a great time to be the mayor. It truly is. I'm very blessed to be here and to do the things that we do, humbled by it. But, decisions we make these are decisions to go to the next 50 years.
Well, I don't need you to say it, but I will. You stood next to a governor yesterday who doesn't care whether it comes to Brazos County. He wants it to come to Texas, and so that
exactly
can be a
right.
situation.
And probably the biggest thing we're going to worry about, I mean, when we talk about what's troubling, what keeps me up, there's a couple of things that keep me up at night. One of them is who is going to be the next chancellor. That keeps me up at night. How do you keep this consistent drive and this momentum that we have going? And, is that going to be into the Board of Regents, or is that going to be to the next, chancellor? Who is that going to be, and how is that going to affect, Bryan, College Station, our county? But the next thing that keeps me up, probably the most important thing that keeps me up, is the water. We have right now, we're working with these guys, and there's a group that's out of San Francisco and out of New York-based, money, and they want to take all the water that's in Robertson County that supplies Brazos County. We run 46,000, acre feet per year in Bryan, College Station, Texas A&M, Hearn, Robertson County, all of Robertson County, Franklin, Calvert, 46,000. They've already been permitted for 50,000. So they're already going to ship out and want to ship out, to send to Austin, basically. It's going to go to Georgetown and, supply those other economic development stuff they have over there. And they're asking for another 50,000. So they want to take 100 to 150,000 acre feet of water, which we know our aquifer can't sustain that. Now, the city of Bryan and our area here, we have to have a 50-year plan, and we have to tell, okay, we got 50 years, and we had 50 years. We had 50 years. We had actually over 50 years of planning that had, we have plenty of water for that. Well, it's taking it down to less than 10 years right now. So we have less than 10 years to worry about, which all this stuff that does, it literally stops economic development for here. So are we going to supply water to Georgetown so they can have economic development over there because that's what it's going for? Or are we going to say, no, we're not going to do that, and we're going to keep the water here because we want economic development here. We want to make sure that we're able to sustain ourselves for the next 50 years, 100 years. And those plans, we're either, if we can't get this thing shut down, we're going to have to go out and look for water somewhere else. I mean, we're going to have to go look.
See, there you go. Anyway, we're busy. We know. Thank you for the time this morning. We've covered a lot of stuff. I appreciate the time this morning.
Well, I appreciate that. It's the holiday season. I want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be that positive. I know I'm not very positive this morning because I was stuck in traffic, but it truly is. We're blessed to be here, and if you there's good people everywhere. If you can't find one, be one.
There you go. That's Bobby Gutierrez, the mayor of Bryan.
As we gather for the holidays, we may notice subtle changes in our loved ones.
Maybe mom isn't quite as steady on